Why is he acting so hurt? Why is he defending Demetrius all of a sudden? And usually, sometimes when people are in their feelings, their recollection of events is shaky at best. Everybody knows the eyewitness report is never reliable. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is LolaAjisafe here. We are reviewing Ready to Love. This is episode, is it 11? For a second, like, I know what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm like confused. Like, it's episode 11, y'all. This is episode 11. Keep it in the fam or meet the fam. Anyway, we're at 11. So we start with the gentleman's lounge. What's going on here? So first of all, we're down to 4 men. Let's do a quick recap. But before we start, like, I'm ready to get into the story of it. Like, hey, hold up, housekeeping rules, hold up, time out, housekeeping rules. Don't forget to like the video, y'all. Like the video. Y'all really did me good last week. Thanks. Keep the likes up. Keep pressing the likes. Hit the likes so you can see me. And then more importantly, drop a line. Tell me what you think, how you feel about something I said, what you saw on the screen, your opinion. It all mixes up and it makes it interesting. I do enjoy the point of views because that interaction, I like it. And then if you haven't subscribed, they ain't shacking up no more. Like, I'm going to draw my lines. We're creating boundaries now. Come over to this side and hit the subscribe button. All right, so let's go back to what we're saying. So we're starting the story. What was it? Gentleman's Lounge. And we're going to about to recap. We have 4 men left. We have Clifton. We have Demetrius. We have Donovan. And Uncle Paul still here. Uncle Paul looking around like, yo, I made it. Like, how did I make it? But I made it. How am I going to take it to the end? Uncle Paul's thinking this right now. I'm telling you, that's what he's thinking. Because he know. He looking around. He's like, snap. You guys remember the beginning. Y'all were trying to get rid of Uncle Paul from the beginning. Pressure saved his A. And then he double-crossed her. And almost tried to double-cross Auntie Joy. It didn't work. In the beginning, I was feeling Uncle Paul. Like, Uncle Paul's got something to give. He's lived a little. He's got something to offer. And then when he double-crossed Aunt Joy, I was done with him. Then last week he showed a glimmer of like, okay, I see you. I see you. You're not scared to speak up. Like, when you see nonsense, you say this is nonsense. And he saw nonsense and said this was nonsense. So anyway, back to the present time. 4 guys left. And so, Nephew Tommy does his recap that, I guess Tori's gone or whatever the story was. And then, Sis didn't show up. Tina didn't show up. Like I said last week, I thought that was a little bit disrespectful because you went through all the palaver to join. I don't think they pick people off the streets. At least that's what I'm thinking. They don't pick people off the streets and then put them through some kind of testing. There's little psychology. You put yes, no, A through Z. I don't know. They do something. So you went through all of that only to kind of lose steam. And now I'm not judging you, sis, but to lose steam in the middle, like, and this happens. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you'll be like, this is not for me. But there's a good way to bow out and say, this is not for me, guys. Thank you very much for the opportunity, but I want to be done with this. So I really do feel that you could have given Nephew Tommy the respect and given him a salute and then play some soft music, but you left him sitting on the boardwalk by himself holding a coffee. Not fair. But anyway, so he's telling the guys that, this week, your love interest, your number one's gonna meet your family. It is what it is. There's a part where as I guess they're talking, and then Demetrius, I don't know if he told us or he told it was in his confession, talk about he wanna meet up with Sabrina, see if she'll meet his mom. I'm looking like this. Meet your mom? Are you all on good terms? Because the way it felt like the last confessional, or rather the last episode, y'all didn't look like you're on good terms, but you wanted to meet your mom. All right, so first scene, Clifton's, I think his aunt and uncle meant to meet up with John. We know this is going to be smooth because really this is the only connection that's on the show. Like, you want to call a spade, this is the only connection that's on the show. I'm repeating myself for a reason. So she meets them, she's comfortable, she's relaxed, she just knows she's Joy. She can be herself. They meet, and now I think that everything's confirmed. They can actually greet each other, like they're a couple. Oh, a little peck. Oh, how you doing, baby? Oh, dear, or whatever he said. I don't know what she said. But they, they greeted each other comfortably. They were comfortable with each other, and that was apparent because there was a nice flow of conversation, between the aunt and the uncle. First question is like, what do you like about him? And she's like, he checks all my boxes. I'm like, sis, all your boxes? Okay, but there's the 80-20 rule that exists. And it's a different way, and I'm applying it a different way, not the way that they say when you give up 80% to get 20. What I'm saying is like, I don't know if it's likely unless you don't know the person well, that anybody can be your 100%. I'll check all the boxes. There's going to be, it makes sense for a good 60-80% of them to be what you desire, but there's going to be a certain percentage that's going to tick you off. So I don't know, she probably being polite, so she's telling aunt and uncle that he's everything to me, he's my 100%, he's my everything, he's my all. Nah, sis, like, to those of us, we're not skeptics, we're just realistic. He's not your all, and he's not your 100%, like I'm speaking for you, but forgive me, I don't think he can check some of your boxes, but you know, you're gonna find out that he's not everything. He's not the best thing since sliced bread, but I still think it gives a nice touch. And so they start talking good questions. She's like, you know, Clifton has children, like, how do you feel, you know, partnering or being a part of that role? Because if you're going to be his significant other, then you're going to play a role. You're not going to replace the mother, but you're going to play a role as his partner. And she said, look, I've got, you know, I'm good with it, and I love that. I always hear people talk about, I don't like the word stepchild, stepmother, step this. No, step 9. Bonus. I love to hear when people say my bonus, like that, and I'm whispering. I don't know why I'm whispering, but I think I need to soften up that tone. I really like when people use the term bonus instead of step, because step sounds so, you know, septic and just very, just not warm and friendly, whereas bonus just really sounds like we met, we fell in love, and your family is now my family, and I believe it. But there are some women that are married to some men that had children before they met, and I really have disdain for those children, and I can't respect you. I can't respect you when you do that. And like vice versa. Vice versa, same thing. When a man meets up with a woman, gets together, but still has some disdain for her children, I can't respect that. Like, if you're gonna love me, you're gonna love my children. Just that, to me, that's just, it seems like common sense, it seems like ABC, but I promise you, there's some people out there that barely can, you know, cover their disdain for the partner's children, and that's wrong. Don't get with them if you can't love those children like they're yours. Like, easier said than done, but still, at least give it a shot. Don't walk into the situation calling stepchildren. So I like her response, and I felt it was authentic, and she's like, yeah, like, I don't know if she wants to have children on her own, but she's ready to at least, you know, partner with him on his children. And that meant something to me. At least that's the way I said. I was like, cool. And then they also said, I think it was the aunt that said something about, you know, he's a workaholic. You know, how'd you feel about that? She's like, my G, let me tell you something. I'm kind of busy too. Like, I spent 6 months of the year in Mexico, because she's, I think she sings on cruises, something like that. She does something to that entertainment industry, so she's out of town a lot. So her response to that, to say I'm okay with him being a workaholic, kind of flipped on her, because now they're saying, well, you know, how's he going to be okay with it if she's gone a lot? And she genuinely was kind of sad, like, I know that's going to be a lot, we're going to have to figure it through. And they could see that, you know, it was just a genuine nice, like, they really did fit like this. And I just don't mean Joy and Clifton, but even with the families coming together, it was a really comfortable, nice meeting. Like, I'm hoping the best. Honestly, can I tell you something? I'm hoping the best. I'm hoping for the best, because it was so smooth and comfortable. I'm hoping for the best for them, you know. And then I think something that, you know, Clifton says, that he likes being with her because he doesn't have to sugarcoat anything. He can be completely himself in a conversation. And there's nothing more reassuring or nothing more comfortable than being able to be yourself. Because you want to be yourself, right? You do. So I get that. I hope. I'm, you know, I keep my fingers crossed for this couple, right? And so she leaves, and then they conclude that they really did have a nice role. They can see her being part of the family, and they just found her to be sincere. The only thing was this thing about this, you know, her 6-month thing. I mean, you're just gonna have to work it out. Nothing is perfect, but if it's worth it, then you'll figure it out. Here I am. I'm still rooting for them. I know my people, y'all in the comments, been telling me that, Lola, don't be fooled. It's not gonna work. He's a this, he's that, he's for the streets. I know, but I'm just kind of hoping for the best. It's called Ready to Love. We want to see some love on the show, all right? Please, because nothing else here cooking. Nothing else here is flying. Next meeting, Donovan and Sabrina. I think Donovan orchestrated this meet. I don't know. I was like, okay, what he want me here for? I don't know. But you know, something that comes to mind is like, you know, one minute they met in the house, they sat cozily. There was a little, you know, there's a part where the cozy at the getaway house, and it was cozy at the time. I'm just asking you all. That was probably within 24 to 48 hours of that sitting, things just kind of split apart. Y'all, this happened too fast. What really happened? What happened that caused them to just? And when I say them, and I'm saying them loosely, but really I think Donovan seems to be one who seems to be angry. I don't know if I want to call it hurt, but then anger sometimes does mask hurt. But he seems to be one really, in his feelings, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, or whether it's hurt. He's the one who seems to be more in his emotions. Really hurt. Like his butt hurt. Like he really hurt. Like he really hurt. Why? What transpired in 24 to 48 hours? It was less than 48 hours to cause him to, I want to say, I felt he was disrespectful. Like completely annihilate and assassinate her character. This was somebody you've been pursuing for weeks. Then all in a matter of 24 to 48 hours, all of a sudden she's all these things, these negative things you speak of. He gets into it, he says, along with his conversation, I'm not sure what his words are, but he's saying that she implied that he wasn't ready to love, and so he resents that, he's mad at her, talking about, then he starts saying, he starts implying that she has not been sincere with the process. She has not been straightforward, that she has mistreated him. And he was speaking up for Demetrius. So nobody else is speaking up for Demetrius. Demetrius can speak for himself. So when I see that, people, like, what does that sound like to you? Like, why are you speaking for Demetrius? Like, Demetrius can't speak for himself. You're speaking up for the competition. Like, you really care about the competition. I don't think you care about the competition. I'm just saying. So that, like, because the truth is, I'll always say with these shows, I'm not a producer. I don't have the cameras. I'm not a mind reader. So I'm only looking at what, and we're given edits too. We're not given full film, full everything. They have to edit it down, cut it down into like 45 minutes or 43 minutes to be precise. So I wasn't there, but I can only extrapolate and say, based on the way I'm looking at it, why is he acting so hurt? And why is he defending Demetrius all of a sudden? That just makes me suspicious. I'm not disputing whatever conversation or what his point is, but I'm just looking at him and usually sometimes when people are in their feelings, their recollection of events is shaky at best. Everybody knows the eyewitness report is never reliable. So he's in his emotions. His eyewitness report is not reliable to me. That's what I'm basing my prompt on. Not because she's a woman, not because I called her MVP last week, but I'm simply looking at the facts. He's really in his emotions. I'm not saying she didn't do anything wrong, but I'm just saying, looking at this, like all of a sudden, she's not the person you thought she was. Does that happen? Yes, it does. But just like that, Sabrina says, I believe in her confessional, that she became distant from Donovan in the house because she is confirming there was a space between them all of a sudden, and she's saying she created that space because Donovan was pushing her to rank him above Demetrius. He wanted her to choose, like he's telling her you should choose by now, and she didn't take well to that because she told y'all she didn't like to be told what to do. She told y'all she's not submissive. She told y'all what you're not going to do is tell her to go to A because she's going to do B. That's what she already told you all this. Donovan, you should know this because I know this just by watching. Yeah, it's easier to see when you're not in it. So I can just tell you based on that, if that, and it makes sense, if he really did say that and push for that, make me your number one, I'm the one, you should choose me. Guys been doing this from time. You remember, it never really worked out for them, but guys have been doing this from time. They keep their cards close to their chest till the end. But all of a sudden, there's always a problem when it's the woman doing it. And she's actually being quite, I want to say she, to us, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but to us, it looked like Sabrina was being respectful even when she was juggling the two of them. I don't know. So now it's a he say, she say kind of scenario. Like I said, I can't definitively tell you this is what happened because I wasn't there. I'm not Jesus. I don't see visions. Maybe next time if I pray and fast on it, but why would I pray and fast on this? I got important things to pray and fast on. So I'm just saying, based on the facts and the circumstances, it just looked like Donovan's recollection of everything seems tainted by emotion. So I'm more likely to discount his side of the story because I'm looking like, but hers sounds, when I'm putting on my logical thinking cap, it makes more sense to me. Her recount of the story makes more sense. It clicks better than what Donovan. So, he tells her like, yeah, I'm moving on with Carmen. I like Sabrina's response. What Sabrina say? Sabrina say, I hope it works out for y'all. What do you want me to say? God bless you. Anoint your head. What do you want? Like, I don't think she's under any doubts that that's what you're going with, because he did come in a little aggressive, I'm kind of surprised. He always seemed to be cool and calm until all of a sudden, that's why they say I sound like I'm one-sided now, but when they say women are stronger, this is what I mean. Like emotionally, how many women get hurt every minute? The minute a man gets hurt, like the whole world has to know. And I'm not being mean to guys. I'm just saying, like, he's in his emotions and she's just remaining calm. But she does seem to be surrounded by men in their emotions. Is that coincidence? You remember Laverne? Like, Laverne was hot for her. Like, was she? I don't mean hot for her, but hot at her. Like, what transpired to make him? I don't know. And you know, she looks small. I'm told she's small. She little but she mighty. Like, you know, small but mighty. Come across many small but mighty. Don't play with the small but mighty folks. She's gonna set you straight. Paul and Dakia meet up. They're recapping, you know, prior whatever elimination. They discuss whatever that brunch was. Yeah, they'll get together. Let's figure out what's going on. And so Paul definitely feels a need to straighten things up and tell her this is what happened with this conversation. So here goes. He says that he was having a conversation with, you know, Carmen, and Carmen's like, you know, asking about who he's attracted to or what does he find attractive, and you know, just things he will find attractive and how it would be when he's attracted to someone. And he kind of explains it, and then she says, you know, are you attracted to the Kia? Once again, this chick be doing too much. Like, what's your business? Anyway, and Paul rightfully says that's none of your business, ma'am. And I think that, you know, I'm going with what Paul said. So that's probably what transpired for now Carmen to twist things around and say what he didn't say, according to the two of them. And like I said, this is another he say, she say. But another reason why I can now swing to the side of the he said and believe he said, because his explanation sounded believable, one. But two, most importantly, what's been consistent? A reliable predictor of the future is looking at the past. I'm sorry. You know, some people can break trend, but this is what it is. Carmen, almost from jump, have been coming for Dakia, both in her confessionals and in person. For reasons best known to her, she's had a disdain and dislike for Dakia. I don't know, maybe she's jealous that the lady works with NASA, you know. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but there's been a disdain. Because I'm hoping it's not just because you wanted Eric, but you knew Eric all this time. Eric didn't want you, didn't come for you, but you wanted him and didn't get him. I don't know. But she's been coming for Dakia all this time. So what's consistent here is that Carmen has had a disdain for Dakia. That's consistent. That's remained the truth. So it's not impossible to believe that, you know, Carmen's extension of the truth, addition to the truth, could be believed that she made that up just to make, you know, Dakia look bad. And then they go back about, you know, she goes about the body shaming, talking about how, you know, how Carmen talked about her. And she goes on to repeat what she said last week, like, you know, what she has in terms of her body was God given with some time in the gym. That what Carmen has was going to surgeon's table. I don't care either way. So something Dakia says, I thought I like this, because Dakia, I told you last week that we like you. This is another thing to cap off why we like you. She says, Sir Paul, if that's what you're into, I'm not the one for you. I'm saying, I know there's editing, I know there's production, I know there's this, I know there's that, there's all this certain narrative, but rightfully so, we cannot lie and say that there's no amount of editing and mixing up that will recreate the truth based on how Carmen has been talking about Dakia. That's a fact. Like, if there's a sister talking about another sister like that, if you are into the sister, you know, speaking poorly of another sister, if that's your type, those are your specs, that I'm not the one for you. I don't want to be associated around that kind of energy. That's not for me. That's not how I want to live my life. That's not how I want to praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Yeah, let's take this seriously, because that happens. This kind of discreditation happens all the time amongst women. I hate to see it. What I say, and I use that word, I mean it's a strong word. I hate to see that when two women are, you know, it's like one is coming against and it might involve or be about a man. Like, I hate to see it. And he says, nah, my G. Like he said in confession about, you know, he sees Carmen as superficial and judgmental. Now, clearly he's seeing that because they have a misunderstanding. But so it's like, which one came before, the horse or the carriage? Which came before the other, or the egg or the chicken? Because did he now see that in her because they had a misunderstanding, or did he see that and then have the misunderstanding with her? Only they know the truth. But I'm just gonna go with whoever says he sees Dakia's classy. And in between the conversation, he's maintained the fact that he knows that they still have a long way to go. They don't really know each other that well. They haven't really formed a bond yet. That they need to take it slow. I feel that, but the truth is like, if you guys aren't really that close and we're talking about finale coming up soon, then maybe you guys should just hold hands and eliminate together. I know that will cut the show short, but I mean, what else can we do? What would be more sincere? He goes on to mention that he wants her to meet his family. Dakia is hesitant, but like most of us as women sometimes be like, oh, okay, I don't hurt your feelings, so okay. But she doesn't see the point either, and I agree with her. So now he wants her to see the family, but he knows like me trying to like, yeah, even somebody at work knows me longer or better than Dakia and Paul know each other. I don't know how I feel about this, but what we're gonna do. Next scene, Donovan and his mother. That's big. You know, they meet up with Common. Maybe he really has a connection in Common. We don't know. I'm not here to judge him. That's his spec. That's his spec. You know, that's what he's into. That's what he's into. You know, every pot has its lid, right? So anyway, he gets his mother to meet up with his love interest, who is now solely Common, and we know that Common knows how to do eye service. What do I mean by eye service? She knows how to spruce it up, peperimpe. Like, I'm giving all these Nigerian terms. Let me think of a real term. She knows how to. Her representative is very savvy and knows how to give up appearances. So she shows up with, you know, two flowers. I said, well, not two single flowers, but two bouquets. Excuse my English. She showed up with two bouquets, and I'm like, why? I understand. You know, I understand you wanting to give the mom something, but still, why? Like, he should have had something. I don't know why I feel like that, but it just seems, and I know maybe I shouldn't feel like that. Y'all tell me how you, that's true. Tell me how y'all feel in the comments. I'm just looking like, really, like, bouquet, really, you're coming with flowers? Like, if you were even going to come with flowers, it would have been nice to you brought one for the mom, but you brought a bouquet for him. Like, you know he's not into flowers. But then again, I don't know. Maybe he loves flowers. Maybe he has a green thumb. I don't know. But I just thought it was I thought it was laying on a little too thick. You know, you're bringing like two bouquets. But could that just be my side eye of her just speaking? It could be. It could be jaded. My thinking could be jaded. Tell me what y'all think. Would you show up with flowers for a mom and a guy? I always feel like they reverse, but maybe that's me. I'm being jaded. Tell me what you think anyway. So they get talking, and then mom was saying something. I forgot. She forgot what team she was playing for. She forgot she was representing at the blue team. She trying to round up with the red team. Like, she about to reveal something. She did end up revealing that she feels he's spoiled rotten. Well, mama, you spoiled him, but anyway, he's mama's boy. And what you see there, what you see as they're bonding is that two single mothers who know the journey of being a single mother. They know the journey of single motherhood. They bond. Like, that was it. I think that's what drew Donovan's mother to Common. I'm not saying Common's a good person. I'm not saying she's a bad person. But definitely when you meet people you have something in common with, and when you don't see the behind the scenes of Common, she seems quite charming. She's an attractive lady. This is not a lie. She's an attractive lady, and she knows how to play up. You know, she's in that kind of industry where don't ask me what that means. Just go with me here. And so she's, you know, she's won over. And then of course there's that element of strength when they talk about what's important to them in terms of what values have they instilled in their children. I think she has a son too. And it makes, you know, Carmen goes on to say that, you know, she didn't grow up with much. Like, you know, secondhand clothes were the norm for her. So her building herself up to the point where she has, which kind of explains why she can be kind of very competitive, do or die. Is you or me? Is life or death over a cup of coffee? Like, might explain her very extreme responses and reactions to situations, being what she came up from and how she had to come out of it. So she still probably is like that in just regular stuff where she doesn't need to be. She doesn't know how to separate it. But anyway, the fact remains is that Donovan's mother likes her for reasons best known to her. But I do see that they seem to have bonded both over similar experiences, because from what I understand, Donovan's dad was not around, and from what I understand, the father of Carmen's child was also declared absent, and so they kind of bonded over the fact that there was the missing, you know, the deadbeat. I'm going to use deadbeat dad just to go flow with me. Deadbeat dad's, you know, loss, not being present in their father's lives, and they made it work, you know. And that scene also softens us up to it, or because, like, we can identify with that. I don't mean you haven't been in that same situation, but when you see a woman who's really been through it, but against all odds, came up against all odds and made something both of herself and her child, you can do nothing but respect that. And I can do nothing but respect Carmen's in that time, in that position, because this is what I believe. There's no such thing as a bad person, people just may do bad things, or things that are not, they're not digestible, they're not comfortable for me, but they're not bad people. So I can appreciate that there can be, and there are some things that I can like and even respect about Carmen, but not necessarily like how she's played the game on Ready to Love, being that she's been disrespectful to some of the other ladies. But I can respect this part of her, and that doesn't come up, of course. Like I said, when you're editing a show, you only get one dimensional, you don't get the 3 dimensional of that person. So I don't really know who she is as a whole person. So I only see one end. And of course, with reality shows, it is scripted, or it's set. And when we say scripted to set a certain narrative. Like, you need to have a villain, you need to have a good guy, you need to have a bad, like, for the flow of the story, to keep us tuned in. You're going to start setting narratives, and of course, certain things you do will help you, will set you into that narrative. I'm coming, of course, going to bring us right back. So I can respect the scene between Carmen and his mother. Next scene, we have Demetrius meeting up with Sabrina. Ooh. This is gonna be good. So they get talking, and then they want to discuss this whole essence of submission. Is it submission? So she goes on to explain that she does believe there's a power dynamic between them, and Demetrius says, I beg, do tell me more. What do you mean by this? Because I thought we discussed this already. And she says, what I mean by this is like, you are very strong, you have this strong leadership quality, or is the take charge attitude, and you just come in with the energy, like it's my way or the highway kind of thinking. Like, when I have this thinking, you have to just come along and fall in line, you have to fall along with this well, and that's what she means by that. They go talking, and she says something about, I don't know how they get to the last name. I think he uses an example. So do you believe that you should take your husband's last name? And this lady said no. That that's like, she made it sound like it was like, woo. All of a sudden I'm thinking like, what's wrong with taking your husband's last name? That seems to be the norm as opposed to against the norm. Like, I've seen other than Hispanic culture, where when they get married, both the woman's maiden name and the man's name, it gets joined together, so they both bear the same name. So if it's Martinez Hernandez, so the lady's name is Martinez, the man's name is Hernandez. When they get married, they both wear a hyphenated name of Martinez Hernandez. We know that's what happens in Latina culture. I didn't think there was anything unusual about getting the husband's name. That seems quite normal to me, but she is making it out to be, it's not something that she transpires to or prescribes to and says that in her last marriage she didn't take his name. Does that happen sometimes? Yes, it does. But I didn't think it was a taboo to, or it annihilated who you are as a person if we took your husband's name. Or if we didn't, but it's a discussion. But it made me feel like maybe I'm from the 60s, because I thought that was normal. I thought that was okay. But that seems to be big. There's a story behind that. I don't know if it's, somebody has tried to impress their will on her in the past and she had to fight, or maybe because she's small, maybe people have tried to subject her to certain, I'm not sure, but she feels very strongly about lots of issues that involve, giving or seeing the man as the head of the household. She seems to have an aversion to that, based on what I'm seeing. That it appears to me that she has an aversion to that. And that's her cup of tea. It's not good or it's not bad, it's just her. It just means that whoever she's with really has to understand that and be okay with that. So if you're a gentleman who believes that your wife, the woman you marry, the woman who may be the mother of your children, if she needs to bear your last name, and that's very important, that's a discussion you need to have up front before any promises are made. So if she's not with that, then you people go your separate ways. That's how I feel with that, because it's just like, she felt very strongly about it, and to me it was like, that seems normal to me. Anyway, next thing. Brad says, well, my family's in town and I'd love you to meet them. She say that, well, she'd like to meet them when they're in a better place. Yo, I could hear a pin drop, and they were in a bar. Sabrina's small, but she's mighty. So I might have just said, sure, I'll meet them, just have coffee with them, whatever it is. But she said no. I'm not mad at her. She's not playing with you people. When I say you people, guys, I don't know. I'm not going to say she's been hurt in the past, but she's very clear. She appears to be very clear on what she wants. She appears to be very sure on what she's not going to stand for. And she seems to have a clear idea of what her boundaries are. And she's not letting anybody cross them, and she's not going to cross them for anybody. And I can't but respect that. Hands up. Like, I won't call anybody who has, I think anybody who would have an issue with her, on her holding her boundaries, is just, you are being problematic. I can't think of why you would have a problem with that. She's being honest. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but she's being honest. Like, what she's not going to do is, she was not going to do that. She wasn't going to pretend. You know, if you have any problem with her, you may say this medium may not be for her, but actually I feel the medium is for her, because regardless of the cameras, regardless of whatever your expectations of her are, if those expectations don't match what she wants for herself, then she's not going to do it. That's a powerful woman, and I can't but respect it. Period. End of story. Sabrina, I salute you. You're clear on what you want, and that's it, and that's what you're going to do. I'm not mad at you. She's clear. She won't be bullied, she won't be pressured, she won't be coerced into doing what she doesn't want to do, and this is respect. I can do nothing but respect that, because many other women would have folded, probably including myself. I would have said, oh, okay, sure. But she said no. Love it. I love it. I can respect it. Yeah, I don't think it's problematic at all. I'm not sure what other people's interpretations of this would be, but that's how she feels about it. That's how she feels about it. So anyway, Paul meets up with Dakia, and she meets up with his brother called Kellen. And so, you know, I think around this period, this is where, before this, her confessional, she does have some, you know, misgivings, and she does feel meeting his brother is premature for her, but she decides to go along with it. Like, she feels like Sabrina does, but she still went along with it. Can I blame her for that? No, not really. You know, whatever, it really boils down to whatever your ultimate desires are, or your end goal. Because she knows, Uncle Paul knows, that they're nowhere close to being in a relationship. So they get talking. You know, she tells her brother, I'm an asset engineer, I own a dance studio. And you know this question I hate people asking. They're asking in different forms. So why, if you have all this going for you, why are you looking for love? Why use your brother looking for love? Don't get me going. I hate I think it's a stupid question. Like, why are you asking her? Oh, your brother doesn't have anything going for him. That's why he's looking for love. Like, what two can't happen at the same time? Anyway, so you know, the brother Kellen, I don't remember his name. Kellen says, you know, tries to explain why he's asking that question. He feels his brother gives people too many chances. That in his last marriage, he didn't leave when he should have left. Okay, whatever. Play me a violin. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so he says for his brother, he believes his brother needs someone who's fair and will show his brother respect, and of course there'll be a place for mutual respect. You know, and in confessional, finally Dakia telling me, she's confirming what we already know, that she really feels, no, I don't know if she says feel, but you know, they could likely friendship vibes between them. There's friendship vibes between you people. You guys are just trying to go to the final, honestly. Like, she says something about not forcing it. You're forcing it. There's friendship vibes and you people are forcing it. This is, I feel like what's between Dakia and Paul is the same kind of relationship that Joy had made mention of when she was with Paul. They both know that they're not into each other. If she leaves, the brother says she's cool, but he feels her answers were scripted. Scripted? I wasn't there, so I can't really say, but, you know, and that she needs to be vulnerable. I don't remember which one of them said it, but I just wanted to choke two of them, like, she needs to be vulnerable. Like, the two of you need to be vulnerable. How you want something from someone that you don't give? How you expect someone to show something that you're not showing? But you want to lead and be the leader of the household. You want something, but you can't lead and show it first. Like yeah, this, I think I remember the brother's name because I was irritated by that scene. Gentleman's Lounge. We know Clifton recap, we know what happened with Clifton, they're good. The Paul thing, we know what happened with Paul, he's good. So Uncle Nephew Tommy asked, you know, Paul, that, yo, my G, like, what you see now in her that you didn't see in Prime Connections? Oh, she's so straightforward. Okay, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave that for you. So why did it take so long for you to see this connection, this woman? Why is Nephew Tommy asking all these questions? Has he asked anyone these questions before? No. Because it's like, Stevie Wonder can see this. These people are playing. That's what I'm saying. So he says, why did it take so long for you and Dakia to get together? Why did it take so long? Because that was the last person standing when the music was playing. He didn't want to go home. So he wanted to go with her. That's it. But he says scheduling. Nephew Tommy felt exactly like you saw my face too. That's how he felt, because he just got up and he like, adios my people. Like, I'm not going to do is do this with you people today. So he let that go. He left that. He left that alone. Then I guess Donovan gets to talk. Yeah, okay, we know he's going with Carmen, but he says like, I guess he's trying to explain what happened with him and Sabrina, and Donovan says Sabrina's not accountable. And I thank Jesus that Nephew Tommy asked him, what do you mean by that? Be more specific. After he struggled through a few sentences, the truth came out. He said with his own mouth that he's mad because she didn't make a choice. I'm paraphrasing clearly. So does that now confirms what Sabrina said 30 minutes earlier in her confessional? He said that he's mad because she didn't make a choice. The double standard is making me mad, make my eyeballs roll in my head, because so based on that, I now can disbelieve anything he said about Sabrina and believe everything Sabrina has said, because finally the truth has come out. And the truth came, you know, it's like when someone discounts your character and questions your integrity, and when someone nails you down to the cross, literally holds your head to the wall and say, okay, explain yourself. And finally when he's explaining himself, I don't even know if he knew that he was now speaking the truth. So he called out all these things, and I can't really remember everything. But if you say someone's not accountable, somebody is this, they're not authentic, then all these things you said about how I can't even go back and play. But you, as you remember, you said all these things to question her, question who she is as a person, things you didn't see before, and they finally ask you why you're saying all these things. After you stammer for a minute, you now confess that's because she didn't choose you. I think I said this last week when I said something about he's used to people always fawning over him, and the fact that she's not fawning over him, like, it's driving him mad. And his mother confirmed it too. She said that he's spot rotten. I think that all the things are falling in line, like when it's giving us to the yellow brick road. That's what I'm saying. Like, look at that. I wasn't there, but it just sounds like everything is kind of making sense now. Anyway, Demetrius recap. We didn't have much of a recap, y'all. You agree, but you don't understand, but you understand. So you have two minds. You know what God says about being hot and cold. Look, either be hot or cold. Lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out. Like, Demetrius, where are you? So Demetrius realized that after this men's thing, he didn't know where he was. And so what did he do? He said that he's going to sit down. He didn't say that, but they showed us Demetrius and Sabrina meeting up. And so they meet up for dinner. He'd ordered some appetizers for her. He's looking very, Brian knew how to wear a suit. Remember? He was wearing that, periwinkle, or whether it was eggplant colored suit at the very first brunch. Now he's wearing, I forgot what color the suit was, like a nice gray suit. But, she says nice things about him. She says, thank you for sending texts, all these. And I was like, okay, they're vibing. This is looking nice. The appetizers come, they hold hands, they pray. Jesus bless this food in your mighty name, amen. They do all that, and then she further explains that I didn't really want to meet your family, because for me it's like, if you're meeting my dad, you're not meeting my dad as a boyfriend. If you're meeting my dad, it means that we're getting married. Like, it's very serious. So I hold the same regard for your own family too. That's why I didn't agree to meet your family. And he's like, yeah, okay, I understand it. Then she says, there's an emotional disconnect between us. You're a good person and everything, you're good peoples, but we're disconnected, And I don't know if you're my person. I don't think you're my person. At least I was watching, like, what's going on? What's she saying? She said she don't think he's her person. Jesus. I know his heart was beating. People, I know his heart was beating, because mine was. I thought she was trying to pad up with him and say, I didn't meet your family, but let's do this. I don't know if you're my person. Yeah, so much is happening at the end of this journey. And she did say in her confessional that, they had fundamental differences between them. He was willing to dismiss them, sweep the red flags under the carpet, but she wasn't. So it really was for her. He looked at them as challenges that he needed to overcome. And she saw these differences as a sign like this wasn't it. Then she says, she's self-eliminating. Jesus. Demetrius was like, yo, in Yoruba that means I'm in trouble. Yeah, I'm not mad. Sabrina says she's gonna be true to herself. She's gonna trust herself, and she's going to go at her pace. And there's certain things she saw that weren't working for her. But the thing is, I can't be mad at her because she has been consistent. she didn't lie and make him feel any kind of way. She literally been doing this thing like a project, step by step by step by step. Like she didn't swoon and say, oh yes, I'll be yours. No, she has been showing us that stuff is not gelling. Stuff is not gelling. And the process of stuff is not gelling, Donovan fell by the wayside because he was mad because she's still saying stuff is not gelling. Demetrius, he toughed it out. He's a strong guy. He toughed it out. He said, nah, I'm stick with this. But Demetrius didn't have anybody to fall back on, because literally the person he faced was really Sabrina, week 3, and a week or 2 after that, Tina for a quick date. Like, a lot of the people on this season really, I wouldn't say a lot of the men didn't have backup plans. A lot of the men just had one egg in their basket, and once that egg broke or fell out or got taken, then they were left with an empty Easter basket, and it's Easter tomorrow, and they were done. So he was done. So he said something about, yeah, I start my journey with you, I end my journey with you. But my G, when he hugged her, like his heart fell. So it's a cross between, are his feelings hurt, or is he just shattered that she took him off the show? That's the question, and I would love you guys to answer that question for me. Because I'm throwing this picture up. When you see that expression of his, was his heart shattered? Were his feelings hurt? That, oh, they're not going to be one? Was he just like thrown off his game because now he's off the show? There's no kind of saving face, like he's off the show because of her. Like, couldn't she have, drug it to the end like all the others have done in past seasons? Yeah, she could have. She could have done what her namesake did last season, right? She could have met him at the bridge and said, "My G, I don't think you're my peoples." But Joe had a problem with it when her namesake did it at the bridge last season, so she decided to do it before the bridge. I can't be mad at her too. Like, she's staying true to herself. How about that? She's staying true to herself. If you have a problem with that, then you can have a problem with that. That's your problem. Go lay down and suck on a lollipop. I don't think it was harsh. We're just keeping it real, and life is real. Isn't life is real, and that's real for her. What she's not going to do is pretend, and I'm okay with that. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game, y'all. That's what I'm saying. We at the end of the episode. Next episode, I don't know if it was a finale or something. Whatever happened. What did we say? 5 episodes ago? Okay, let me not exaggerate. Maybe 4 episodes ago. I'm going to give you 4 episodes ago. We said there was only one solid connection. The rest was just joking. And like we're saying, the rest are just joking. It feels like with each season, these connections are less and less. Because less and less and not as strong. Guys, this is it, y'all. I want to really hear what you guys think, because I was like, it was kind of crazy, like what? But reach at the end of this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch y'all next week. Lola, over and out.